There's an article making the rounds on the web claiming that marketing is quickly becoming an engineering job. I've seen this idea pop up a little bit lately, so let's unpack the argument, look at the facts, and I'll give you my 2 cents on whether I think the future of marketing is engineering or something else. The article was published by State of Brand and is titled "Marketing Departments Are Rebuilding Themselves as Engineering Orgs, One Hire at a Time." The article itself makes 3 central claims. Claim number 1, marketing's fastest growing job is an engineering one. The article claims that job listings for go-to-market engineers jumped 205% over the last year. It generously lumps in marketing engineer jobs with that stat, even though that stat only measured go-to-market engineers specifically. So what are GTM and marketing engineers exactly? GTM engineers use automation and AI to build go-to-market workflows like automating lead research and enrichment. They typically sit in RevOps or growth. Clay coined the term in 2023 to describe a role built around the kinds of growth tools it sells. The GTM engineer role is critical to Clay's own marketing, which is entirely human-driven. More on that later. If you're interested, I unpacked Clay's marketing strategy in a separate video linked in the comments. Now, the marketing engineer concept takes that same playbook and applies it to a new set of AI tools. The term was coined by Profound, an AI search platform heavily invested in the AEO or GEO movement it's helping to manufacture. According to Profound, marketing engineers aim to automate everything from content creation and social engagement to interacting with leads. Claim number 2. The marketing team structure is changing to be engineering-centric. The article claims marketing teams are overhauling org charts to become, quote-unquote, engineering pods. Under this reorg, marketers now build and manage armies of AI agents that execute most marketing tasks for them. Last but not least, claim number 3. Marketing campaigns are now obsolete. The article states that marketing campaigns have been replaced by millions of AI agents running millions of hyper-personalized programs for buyers all at once, 24/7, like the minions from Despicable Me. Now, there's nothing special about this article. It doesn't have an author, and it doesn't share any receipts to back up all the bold claims that it makes. So why call all of this out? Because this article is a textbook example of how biased talking points can snowball into narratives that spread like a stomach bug from Taylor Farms lettuce. And when it comes to AI, marketers are eating a lot of lettuce right now. Let me show you what I mean. For starters, State of Brand is powered by Outlever, an AI-powered content engine that helps companies create their own news sites. That said, this entire article is basically a rewrite of a sponsored article from martech.org. Its author, Michael Gale, is the only person quoted in the State of Brand article. He's also the primary source behind all the bold claims in it. Michael Gale is the CMO of EDB, a company that sells the data infrastructure that marketing engineers would use for their AI agents. As for that 205% hiring boom stat, that came from Bloomberry, a company that sells B2B data to GTM teams. Bloomberry telling us that GTM engineers are booming is the equivalent of Jensen Huang telling us that we need more AI data centers. I'm not saying that the stat isn't real, but it sure as hell doesn't include marketing engineers like the article claims. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to share my thoughts on all 3 claims from the article. Is marketing's fastest growing job really an engineering role? No. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the fastest growing role in marketing appears to be the market research analyst, which is projected to grow 7% over the next decade. I dug through LinkedIn's job listings myself and found no evidence that marketing engineer roles are booming. Most were contract gigs with wildly inconsistent descriptions, and many didn't even mention AI. From what I saw, a lot of these roles seem to be experimental. AI agents are the buzzword of 2026, so it makes sense that marketing teams are kicking the tires trying to see what they can do. For example, one listing said that the role needs to, quote unquote, make our marketing look like the AI company we are, noting, quote, you are the single point of accountability for whether the system is on. So it's an identity crisis and a fall guy rolled into one. Sounds fun. Claim number 2. Marketing campaigns are now obsolete. People hear campaign and they envision this short-term sprint of content and ads, then everyone goes back to their regularly scheduled programming. But that couldn't be further from the truth. What a campaign really is the strategic lens that aligns your messaging and marketing activity to your greater business goals. The ability to fire off personalized emails and automated workflows 24/7 has existed for decades and doesn't even require AI. Even with AI agents, always-on automation doesn't mean campaigns are dead. As a marketing consultant, one of the biggest things I see teams lack is an overarching lens that they can project all of their marketing activity through. Instead, they pray and spray content and touch points everywhere like Rambo and wonder why leads don't magically appear. Campaigns bring direction to all of that, so no, the campaign is not dying. Lastly, will marketing become an engineering job in the future? I'm no psychic, but I'd be willing to bet my cat's soul on that not being a thing. I'd bet my own soul, but I traded that away the day I decided to become a marketing consultant in the first place. Marketing will never be an engineering job because that's not what marketing is about. People constantly conflate marketing with content, outreach, and ads, but that's just one tiny fraction of the marketing process: promotion. The most critical work in marketing is what comes before all of that, like research, segmentation, product positioning, differentiation, and so on. Marketing research analyst is the fastest growing job in marketing for a reason. Without good research, the marketing process falls apart, no matter what you automate. Remember Clay, the company that created GTM engineers, the inspiration for marketing engineers? Well, their own head of growth, David Grieco, said it himself. Your tech stack doesn't matter. The entire GTM world is obsessing over AI agents and workflows. Meanwhile, the best marketers are doing the opposite. Until we start selling to machines instead of humans, taste is greater than technology. I'm not anti-AI or automation, but what the marketing engineer concept gets wrong is how it uses both. It tries to automate what's fundamentally human: communications, relationship building, culture, and taste. And frankly, audiences see right through it. According to Sprout Social, 50% of Gen Z unfollows, mutes, or blocks brands that share AI-generated content. The biggest media platforms are pushing back on it too. Meanwhile, frontier LLMs are beginning to watermark their outputs to help the public identify them in the wild. The marketing engineer role is swimming against the current here. And trust me, there are rougher waters ahead. Let's not pretend AI agents are anywhere near capable of doing what the hype suggests. They're fine for simple, behind-the-scenes, low-risk tasks, but the second you try to get advanced, they become a mess. AI promises to be faster, cheaper, leaner, but hiring full-time staff to push AI agents past their limits and then hold them accountable when they inevitably fall short sounds like none of those things. That's like me firing my editor because he can't magically remove my lisp from all these videos. Lisp. Whatever. We've all read the MIT report that found 95% of enterprise AI pilots fail. A key reason is because companies dump their AI budgets into marketing and sales, two disciplines that rely on the human touch, when the proven ROI is found in back office work instead. Meaningful ROI in marketing automation is far less sexy than what the loudest voices on YouTube suggest. If we can't generate ROI from these tools in marketing, how are we supposed to measure ROI from the roles built around them? And remember, the real costs of AI are still being subsidized. Meanwhile, regulations in the US are lagging. That makes that whole ROI thing even harder to pin down. If you're just starting your marketing career, I strongly suggest that you learn the fundamentals and that you learn the full marketing process. That's not to say that AI can't help in any of these areas. In fact, you should upskill in AI and automation, at least enough to know where they work and where they don't. Having worked with these tools extensively myself, I've seen just how wide the gap between reality and hype really is. Right now, a lot of teams are experimenting to find out for themselves, and I think that the marketing engineer role is part of that. Ironically, another job emerging from all this is AI cleanup. My company has taken on several contracts this year cleaning up messes made by teams that got too ambitious with AI, especially in SEO, which is literally where the marketing engineer role originated. Maybe these tools and jobs survive the hype and become commonplace, or maybe they don't. Regardless, one thing won't change. Marketing will never be an engineering job.